My main issue with the ending of Arkham Asylum is the actual mechanics of the final boss fight. But let me explain why. It's the one glaring flaw I cannot get out of my head. Now, hindsight's obviously 2020, and I'm in no way implying that if only they had me on the writing staff for the original game, that would have been a work of perfection. This is a game that I legitimately love with all of my soul. But I do think that the ending could be altered to make it more satisfying both from a story and gameplay perspective. And it could be done in a way that I believe would have been realistic for the game designers at the time, taking into consideration the existing in-game mechanics at work throughout. Since Arkham Asylum is the most low-key of the series, Batman feels more like a normal dude in this game, and all the villains feel like significant threats. Batman's just a wacky guy trapped on an island with a handful of neat gadgets. He isn't zipping at Mach speed and barreling into dudes with an electrified tank yet. Even the bald henchmen with like staples in their head and the straitjacket lunatics feel like a threat. The smaller boss fights feel like battles with stakes. Bane could really hurt Batman. Scarecrow doesn't have Bane's strength, but he's fucking with your mind, so it'll take a couple rounds against him to win. Poison Ivy has a giant plant? That thing's huge. I've never faced anything that big as this Batman. Killer Croc is gonna pull me underwater or charge at me and try to fucking eat me, and running is how he finds me quicker? Horrifying monster man. Then, at the very end of the game, the climax of this journey through madness, there's the Joker. The Joker turns into a big bad guy, swinging so slowly and pathetically at you that the henchmen become more difficult to fight. And the way to win is just to drag him down with your Batclaw when he goes to taunt no one in particular. Then his long ass fingers, I guess, get stuck in the wood because he insists on landing claws down. And you just punch him in the face 3 times to take down a full third of his health. That's how you beat the Joker. That's how you beat the game. You don't even get to punch him for the last third of his health. You pull him down and you automatically win. 6 punches to win. Cuts to a cinematic. I'm not saying I want a good fist fight with the Joker. I don't need the last boss fight to be a punching contest between Batman and the lanky-ass clown you've been chasing around for 10 hours. I want a real challenge though. It's just so easy. Why did they make it so easy? If you look around online, you'll see the general consensus is that this game is excellent, but the end leaves something to be desired. Personally, when I first played it as a 14-year-old man, I didn't have an issue with it. But also, we didn't get nice superhero things back then, so I had no right to complain. But now, as a 25-year-old boy, replaying this game fell a little flat for me, and I understand what people are complaining about. I have the utmost respect for the game creators. I think they made something really special that launched an excellent franchise and showed people how good a superhero game could be. With that being said, there's a way to tweak the existing ending so that it really packs a punch. This could be done in 2 ways, both story-wise in order to help deliver on the themes of the game, as well as gameplay-wise in order to give the player a more enjoyable challenge. So as a fun little Elseworlds exercise, please join me as I rewrite Arkham Asylum's ending. Let's start from a story perspective to set the stage for the gameplay elements later. For this entire game, Joker's trying to prove to Batman that he's as crazy as everyone else. Classic Joker-Batman stuff. Joker wants Batman to give in to his insanity, but Batman refuses. Right before their fight, Batman is injected with Titan by the Joker. Titan is a chemical compound Joker developed that makes boys go wild. Joker also uses it on himself, and thus, he's shredded. He says to Batman, "Come on, go crazy, it's the only way to beat me." But then Joker is acting like his normal self, and Batman uses the cure on himself, so he's fine too. I have no problem with Batman curing himself, it seems like a very Batman thing to do. But I do have a problem with the Joker not going crazier. Throughout the game, we see that people injected with Titan become mindless behemoths. I don't necessarily want Joker to go brain dead, but he acts exactly the same, even with Mark Hamill's voice unaltered. Listen to this.
Showtime, Batman!
Doesn't this sound a little silly? If your whole story is a trek through madness, horror, and despair, it would make sense for the final battle to be a chaotic whirlwind of insanity, especially if that battle is with the Joker juicing crazy sauce. The Joker shouldn't be swinging at Batman like he doesn't give a fuck, then stop to go talk to a helicopter filled with characters we don't even know when he gets bored after 5 seconds of a fight. He should be a feral animal, a force of nature, pushing you to the limit of both your physical abilities as well as your mental fortitude. His goal is to break Batman, isn't it? Bane doesn't have a monopoly on that. So the trick here is fixing this story beat while also translating it into gameplay without adding totally new mechanics. How do we do it? Well, this may sound lazy, but if they wanted to make an epic final boss fight, they could have just borrowed elements of earlier boss fights. It isn't a stretch from a game design perspective, and it also calls back to the journey you've been through. Throughout the game, there are 4 main boss fights before the final fight with Joker. These include Bane, Scarecrow, Killer Croc, and Poison Ivy. They aren't all traditional boss fights, but they're at least boss challenges. The 2 bosses that make the most sense to borrow from are Bane and Scarecrow. First of all, borrowing from Bane makes sense based on the story. The Titan formula is the Joker's MacGuffin for this whole game, and is tied directly to the Venom serum Bane uses for his strength. That's why when Joker injects himself with Titan, he becomes a huge, bulking dude like Bane. If you insist on having the Joker transform like this, have Joker fight like Bane. Even the other Titan mini-bosses have a particular way of fighting, and Joker physically resembles them more, but he doesn't fight like they do either. The Bane boss fight mechanic should be utilized again, but updated to fit this final Joker boss fight. Have Joker charging at you, throwing shit at you. Anything but the lazy swinging. Reusing Bane's boss features would keep more pressure on Batman. But Joker should actually be even faster than Bane. He should have less predictable movements. He can even swing while he's charging at you to make it more difficult to dodge. There, I incorporated the damn swinging. Joker doesn't have the tubes that Bane does, but it would be easy to come up with another way to make Joker vulnerable for quick attacks. He's got those claws. Maybe instead he charges at you and he can get stuck in the wall, or if you hit him with a batarang at the right time, he spins out and falls onto the ground, claws down, and you give him a good hit or 2 while he's like that. The original Bane fight was so early in the game, and it wasn't too long and annoying to be outright despised by the less enthusiastic players. Update it and reuse it. Next up, Scarecrow. Let's face some facts. The absolute best part of this game is the fear toxin hallucinations. It all melts together in this pot of psychedelic horror that gives you insight into the broken man you're playing as. You see his worst fears unfolding through iconography in some twisted wonderland. It's so good, you get to do it 3 times, and they later released DLC targeted directly at fans of this aspect of the game. People liked it so much, they sold it to them again. Instead of selling the hallucinations to fans again as DLC, they should have given it to us a 4th time for free. Divide the Joker fight into 2 stages. Begin with Beefcake Joker Bane fight, then finish with one final hallucination extravaganza. For the story, it makes perfect sense that the Joker would have access to enough fear toxin to use in this final battle. The Joker had a plan for this night. He only broke out certain people from the asylum. Joker gave Harley a list, and she wasn't supposed to let out any supervillains if they weren't on it. Scarecrow is on the loose. We face him 3 times, and he seems to have free reign of the island grounds. Joker even discusses Scarecrow with Batman. They at least have some agreement. They aren't in conflict. So since Joker has been planning this, and the backstory relies on Joker getting a formula for a crazy serum that one of the asylum doctors helped him create, wouldn't it also make sense that he made a deal to get some fear toxin from Scarecrow? Would it be that far of a stretch to think this maniac asked for something obviously in ample supply from another villain who he is doing a huge favor for? I don't think so at all, and I think the groundwork is already laid for it. No one would question how Joker got fear toxin. Say we finish stage 1 of the final fight. Tough guy Joker is down for the count. Even his beefy bod couldn't beat Batty Boy. But he's not gonna go down like a chump. The Joker wouldn't risk losing the battle for Gotham's soul in a fist fight with Batman. As Batman's about to deliver the knockout punch, and one last effort to break Batman, Joker presses on his lapel flower and sprays some Titan-infused fear toxin laughing gas into Bane's face. That's a mouthful. Obviously a slight redesign to the hulked out Joker, but I think the flower's a nice touch. So this enhanced fear laughing gas wouldn't take us to the twisted Scarecrow nightmare land we become familiar with. Instead, it would be taken to some Joker-fied version of that hallucination. This one can crank things up to an 11 since the Titan compound would, in fake Batman science, make the fear toxin even more potent. And with the added side effect of being infused with laughing gas, this hallucination would be a world where Joker rules. This is the final challenge Batman must overcome to defeat the madness that's dogged him for the entirety of the game. This world would be freaky. Batman would be laughing horribly the entire time. Have Kevin Conroy cackling his head off. Take the creepy elements of the insane Batman from the previous hallucination and really have fun with it. I don't want to get too in the weeds on this, I'm sure you get the idea. But for instance, instead of fighting skeletons, he could be fighting people he loves. He could fight his parents, Commissioner Gordon, Oracle, Cash, maybe throw in Robin as a fun Easter egg. Instead of ending with Batman pointing a bat signal at Scarecrow, it could instead end with something a little more intense. Maybe Batman sees Joe Chill, the man who killed his parents, and attacks him.
If you want to set this up a bit more, you could add a reference to him in the second hallucination when Batman is young Bruce again, or as part of the Riddler character bios.
Batman could begin to strangle Joe Chill while uncontrollably cackling. Chill's face could flash to Joker. Batman snaps out of the hallucination, and we see Batman strangling Joker. At this point, Batman's pretty much out of the hallucination, and instead of killing Joe Chill/Joker, he chooses to knock him out instead. That's how you beat the Joker in this game. That's how you beat back the madness, through a character-driven choice. Not explodey punch hands on beefy bots. From there, the final cutscenes and everything can wrap up exactly the same. Nothing needs to change except that final confrontation with the Joker. I think that makes Batman's victory over Joker more impressive, more satisfying, but also more bittersweet. The original ending is hopeful, but in a winking way that shows the audience Batman is gonna keep giving his all and saving the day despite how many times he has to do it. The Titan fear gas hallucination would show us just how broken and mentally unstable Batman really is, just like the Joker has been saying the whole game. With all we see in the final confrontation and the conclusion of the game, where the villains are defeated and locked back up in the asylum, Batman being immediately summoned to deal with Two-Face back in Gotham before the credits roll would feel much more bittersweet. We'd see this whole scene with the context that Batman is truly flawed, but he's still trying his best to be the hero. We'd be happy that he is doing what he feels is right, but we'd also feel uneasy knowing that he's never gonna be okay. His triumph would be overcoming his own subconscious will as much as punching the bad guys hard. Batman saved the day, but we know Batman doesn't get a happily ever after. The horrors he's seen, the untreated torment he suffers through as some sort of self-punishment over survivor's guilt, will never really leave him, and he'll never want it to. He's gonna keep pushing himself because he thinks he deserves this. This ending would leave us thinking that maybe the madness that surrounds Batman and the insane company that he keeps is all that drives him to keep pushing forward. So that's how I'd rewrite the ending to Batman Arkham Asylum. I know I just did a whole rant, but I actually really don't have a problem with the existing ending. It's fine, but I think it could have been great. So this is all the result of brain worms that are burrowing out of my head. Maybe it's a horrible idea and I'm a fuck nugget for even suggesting it. It's definitely possible, or there could be way better ideas out there in the void that I've never seen. If you have a cool way to improve the Arkham Asylum ending, let me know.